So now we're ready to talk about sine of a sum and difference, and then tangent of a sum and difference as well. So we'll start with sine of a sum, and using what we learned a moment ago with cofunction identities, this can be written as cosine of pi over 2 minus the alpha plus beta. So when I distribute that negative, I get the pi over 2 minus alpha minus beta. And then I'm actually going to group the first two terms together. So now I'm viewing this as cosine of a difference. So using the cosine of a difference identity, we get the cosine pi over 2 minus alpha, cosine of beta, plus sine of pi over 2 minus alpha, sine of beta. We also can see now that cosine of pi over 2 minus alpha would give us sine of alpha, once again the cofunction identity. We have our cosine beta plus, and the sine of pi over 2 minus alpha would be another cofunction identity, leaving us with cosine of alpha followed by sine of beta. So sine of a sum, alpha plus beta, is sine of alpha cosine beta plus cosine alpha sine beta. Now sine of a difference, if we take sine of alpha minus beta, now we can go ahead and write that as sine of alpha plus negative beta using the identity from above. So sine of a sum, so that's going to be sine of alpha cosine negative beta plus cosine alpha sine of negative beta. With the even and odd identities, cosine is even, so the negative gets ignored. Sine is odd, so the negative will have to come back out. So sine of a difference, alpha minus beta, is going to be sine alpha cosine beta minus cosine alpha sine beta. All right, now for tangent of a sum, I'm actually going to approach this one a little differently. I'm going to go ahead and put the identity up here as tangent of alpha plus tangent of beta over 1 minus tangent alpha tangent beta. The reason I'm doing this is because it's actually easier to understand when we prove or verify this identity. It's not very difficult. So to actually prove this, prove the identity, I'll go ahead and I'll start with the left-hand side, which is tangent of alpha plus beta, and I'm going to rewrite that in terms of sines and cosines. So sine alpha plus beta over cosine alpha plus beta. So in the numerator we have sine of a sum, sine alpha cosine beta plus cosine alpha sine beta. Oops. And then in the denominator, now I'm going to leave a little bit of space here, and you'll see why in just a second. In the denominator, we have cosine of a sum. So cosine alpha cosine beta minus sine alpha sine beta. Now, the reason I left a little bit of space there is because of where we're going next. If we look up at the right side, which is where we're trying to get, notice how this entry is a 1. So essentially, I want this to be made a 1. And the easiest way to do that is to divide by cosine alpha cosine beta. But to do it legally, I have to do it to all of the other parts as well. So I'll come over here, and I'll divide everything up here by the cosine alpha cosine beta. And again, I'm doing this so I create the 1 in the spot that I want it in. And I'm hoping a lot of the other sines and cosines create the other tangents that I need as well. So cosine beta. Good. So as you can see, those are gone, and that leaves us with the 1. The cosine, the betas are gone there. Cosines of alphas are gone there. And it looks like that's about it. So now, here sits your tangent of alpha. Here sits your tangent of beta. We have our 1 minus, there's our tangent of alpha, tangent of beta, which is the right-hand side, which is where we were going. So you can see tangent of a sum identity is what we started with, and we just took a little bit of a different approach, and instead of deriving it, we proved it. Now for tangent of a difference, alpha minus beta, probably to no surprise, we're just going to take tangent of alpha plus a negative beta. So tangent of the first plus tangent of the second divided by 1 minus tangent of the first, tangent of the second. Tangent's an odd function, so the negatives need to come out. Tangent alpha minus tangent beta over 1 plus, because of the double negative, tangent of alpha, tangent of beta. So for tangent of a difference, alpha minus beta, we have tangent alpha minus tangent beta over 1 plus tangent alpha, tangent beta.